Hello guys. So today's podcast, we're gonna be I'm gonna be introducing myself and talk about why I want to do this podcast, and then we're gonna head on. So a few years ago, I actually did a podcast, but we never ended up uploading the video because we were too lazy to, and we were nervous at the same time. And if I'm not wrong, it was like 2 years ago, a long time ago to begin with. But yeah, um, and I do a lot of podcasts. I did podcasts with my school, interviews, and I'm on a news team myself. So we're gonna head on with our podcast. So today we're gonna be doing Reddit scary stories. All right. So yeah, hold on. Let me search up you guys. Never thought about it. So I'm gonna have to log in to Reddit. So guys, hold on. Um, so you guys don't think I'm gonna be alone. I'm gonna be with other people. I might just move on. Alright. I found a lot of stuff for you guys. Alright. Alright. I'm reading this. Reddit. What is your most disturbing story or creepy real story? Serious replies only. Alright. Oh, I don't know this person name, but a few years ago, I was walking through the woods off the beaten track a bit, and I smelt this really overpowering sweet smell. Being nosy, I pulled back the undergrowth to have a look and found a dead body. The guy had clearly been there a while, and it wasn't looking great. All swollen and green and black with virus running bits. The local wildfire had also been dying well for a few days. I called the police, who told me to wait with the body until they arrived. Being in the middle of nowhere, it took a while for them to arrive, and it got dark, and I was just there in the dark with him for a long time. I'm not finished. We need one more paragraph from them. It turned out he had committed suicide for a long time. Afterwards, I had dreams about him. He would talk to me in not nice things, mainly about how he was angry. I disturbed his resting place, and he wanted me to kill myself. Probably just my imaginations, but it was all pretty disturbing at the time. He still turns up in my dreams from time to time, and no doubt will be tonight after typing this. Oh no, it's just different people. Well, never mind. By the way, these are like from 12 years ago, so it doesn't matter. Alright, I'm reading this one. It's from Are You Serious? Which is R, and then under slash U under slash serious. This was 12 years ago, and they edited it 12 years ago, so. A few summers ago, I went for a bike ride around midnight with a friend. We went our separate ways at the end of the evening, and I had to I had about 2 blocks to ride back from by myself. because of a oh my god, I can't pronounce these. Contract. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Okay, contraction. Contraction. Wrong. Construction. See, I figured it out. Because of the construction, I had to ride on the sidewalk, but the streets were dead. But it wasn't a problem until right where I was about to turn left onto my street. There was this man walking by himself, maybe in 40s, a little scrunchy but not homeless. The sidewalk was narrow and I didn't want to freak him out. So when I got about 6 feet behind him, I said, "Hey, behind you." And he turned around and gave me this super angry look. I turned down, I turned down me street. I was making sure I was reading it right. It says, I turned down me street. And he started to follow me, littering. I was literally screaming about how I was a fucking cunt and he was going to kill me. And all of that, I lived right off the corner and I didn't want him to figure that out. So I decided to do another loop around the block. That wasn't the scary part. The scary part is that when I looped back around and looked down the street, I saw him standing on my fucking front stoop. I think she meant like stairs. Staring out at the street like a motherfucker knew, like the motherfucker knew I lived there. He saw me ride by again, but he didn't say anything. I ended up going back to the friends, but my bike got stolen from the alleyway by the house 2 days later. Edit. The guy in the question was definitely not actually homeless. We had a large population of Milton. Oh my gosh, I hate this. Milton, I don't know, I don't care anymore. Hill in the area, unfortunately, downtown of a medium-sized city. So, if I didn't, if I didn't think the sidewalk was too narrow to pass, otherwise I wouldn't have disturbed him. Half the scary part was that he looked pretty much completely normal for my area. That being said, I ended up texting my mom and she made a decision to notify the law enforcement until my bike was stolen. Okay, I think I'm gonna read like two more stories, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how much minutes we're in, okay? I have a friend who lives in a. Okay, this is a short one. So, I have a friend who lives in a super sketchy neighborhood. And he was riding his bike. I have a friend who lives in a super sketchy neighborhood. And he was riding his bike at night until at hey hold on. He was riding his bike at night back to his house. On the other side of the street was a strange man. The the strange man turned around and started charging towards my friend with the knife in his hand, screaming, "I'ma fucking kill you!" Friend, friend narrowly dodged the crazy murderous man. Thankfully, he never goes riding his bike at night anymore. I mean, I wouldn't do that because I think like 1 year ago, I got chased by a clown with either a gun or a knife. I never went out trick or treating. It was trunk or treat actually. So I posted this a couple days ago on another thread. This isn't very interesting, but I woke up with blood gushing down my cheek when I was earlier, and I didn't feel this. It very it is interesting. Hold on. Oh, this isn't very interesting, but I woke up with blood gushing down my cheek when I was younger, and I didn't feel anything, but my face felt so wet. So I went down to my parents' room and they freaked out. Till this day, we still have not clue what cut my face, but I needed 8 stitches next to my eye. We checked the sheets, pillows, pillowcases, edges of the bed, etc. Still no idea. Hold on, I think. Open the whole thingy majingy. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, so I was sleeping, and in the middle of the night of the dream, a character of my dream who was doing something turned her head, looked at me very serious, and said, "There's somebody in your apartment. Wake up." I nearly had a goddamn heart attack, and my apartment was empty. And the plot twist is, it was you. You were in my apartment all along. If you guys don't get it, the character of he or she dream was actually the character in her dream. You reminded me of a Stranger Things. Ah, when I was young, when I was a young child, I had the same dream every night for years about drowning when a huge wave swept over me and I sunk to the bottom. Years later, I had a temp job delivering mail one week during college. I saw this young lady sitting on her front porch waiting for me. When I got up there, she looked at me and said in a fuming accent, "You drowned when Oceania sunk beneath the waves." Freaked me out. Okay.